Wrote it down?
I write it down.
Yeah, Eric wrote it down too.
I actually have a collection of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
So you don't repeat
I hit
things
the
or-
live stream, and I'm going to see if we're live. Not yet.
Let me,
Here it goes. Okay. We are live.
We're live.
Wow.
Hey, Eric.
That's
Hey,
easy.
Luke.
How's
how
it
are
going,
you?
buddy?
Yeah. All right. So we're live here. Robot and the Bear podcast number 18.
18. Oh, shit. I'm so not used to this new setup.
Yeah. So we have a new setup because we actually have two guests. So we have a new microphone, and we have Darren and Trish Giorgiko, who are here to talk about their work and
We
more.
just had an opening this week, past weekend.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
There were like tons of people, apparently. Like I showed up
Yeah.
late.
Oh. yeah. Yeah.
But
So-
there was still a ton of people when I showed up, so that was great. And I saw the photos.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful show.
Thank you.
You know, so
So are we going to start again? Is it time to start with the top fives?
I think it's time.
Are we top fiving it?
Let's top five it.
Wait, you start.
All right, it's my turn. All right. So on June 26th, 2019, my top five starts off with Neon Genesis Evangelion is on fucking Netflix. And to mixed reviews.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know Neon Genesis Evangelion? You're a better man than me.
Oh no. And my wife, it sounds like she knows.
Okay, in case you didn't know, Neon Genesis Evangelion is a fucking anime from Japan, because that's where anime comes from. It's about this weird post-apocalyptic world where fucking quote-unquote angels are coming down to destroy the fucking earth, and people try to stop them using Avas, which are these gigantic armored monster robot kind of creatures, and it was hugely influential in the entire anime, world by turning the entire super robot trope on its head, and
How did it do that?
because the classic, super robot anime trope is a brave, handsome warrior fucking pilots this gigantic robot and saves the day. Meanwhile, in Evangelion, you have this fucking broken, just kind of shut-in, hikikomori kind of style kid who is forced to pilot this thing begrudgingly, and at the end of the day, essentially the world dies.
Who are the hot ladies in there, though? There are some of those.
There's a lot of hot ladies.
Okay.
They're either pilots or mother figures.
Oh, okay.
So,
Gotcha.
But the reason why there is some issue with it is because they changed the ending song, which was Fly Me to the Moon, the Frank Sinatra classic,
Wow.
to a different song, because apparently Netflix did not want to pay for the rights to that. And then they also changed the kind of sexual, the relationship between I think his name's Kaori, who is male pilot, and Shinji, who is the protagonist, where in the original American dubbing there was a lot of homoerotic kind of tension between the two, and now they kind of wiped it, which is kind of weird coming from Netflix, because there is a lot of gayness going on in Netflix, and I'm talking about say Kimmy Schmidt, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, to RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff like that. So why are you getting all cold feet about homosexuality, Netflix?
Is it the same director, Hideaki Anno?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he did
it's-
Shin Godzilla also, right?
He did Shin Godzilla, and he's involved with most of the biggest anime properties, from Macross, Do You Remember Love, to even
nice. Big time.
some what's his name, Studio Ghibli stuff, from what I understand.
Cool. That's
My
a powerful number one right there.
my number two is season 2 of Agretsuko, which is which I, in case you aren't familiar, is a Sanrio product, featuring a red panda office woman who works in Japan and who vents her frustration in life by singing death metal in karaoke clubs. And I love that kind of duality of cute and kind of and brutal. So, and it continues the story of this cute little.
Is that on Netflix?
It is on Netflix.
Wow. Netflix.
It's stop
Yeah.
motion, right, or something like that.
No,
that's
you're thinking of
animated.
Real Akuma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. This is kind of like a Flash animation style thing. My number 3 is Giorgiko.
Oh,
So
how flattering.
Came out on Saturday night, kind of late, and got to be able to experience this show. And if you're in Southern California, I recommend that you do. It's off a Sawtell. You could get a great bite to eat here, and then say hi to Eric.
If I'm here, yeah.
Or Cassia.
Sure.
And experience this artwork. It's their first fucking show. Like, be here for the first fucking show.
Yeah.
You can say like, I remember back when the artwork
you know what?
was.
That's interesting. That'll happen, or that totally happens.
What?
No, remember I was at his first show.
Yeah.
People say that. So,
remember back when the work was only blah blah blah.
Oh,
Oh, now it's blah 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 blah.
Lots of blahs.
Yeah. My number 4 is I have a skate deck that's been released based on a painting called The Nose Knows, which is one of my East meets West kind of themes. Let me see if I could pull up a picture and throw it onto.
It's a character.
No, it's a Pinocchio wearing a Tengu mask.
There you go.
Very kind of.
Always with the puns, visual puns. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of doing a painting of a Tengu wearing a Tenga, but that's
doable.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very literal.
Yeah, but I
Wait,
haven't
do
gotten
you
there.
think Tenga and Tengu are related in name, like on purpose?
I don't know. You would know much better than
I have no
would.
idea. I just never even related it until you just said it.
Yeah,
Tenga. I don't know if you guys know what a Tenga is. It's what's that thing called in America?
It's a masturbatory device.
Yeah. But
It's
what's it called here? A fleshlight.
Yeah, a fleshlight.
It's a. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
whatever.
and
it looks like a. Does it look like a shampoo bottle or something?
Kind of like a big old round shampoo bottle
or something, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And and I was thinking people put their junk in it, and
Go to
they
town.
sell it all over Japan.
Yeah.
Like contemporary artists in Japan,
Oh.
fucking wrap their graphics on it.
Keith Haring
wow.
too.
Keith
That's so
Haring did it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Keith Haring has one.
Like
Yeah.
you never would think in America contemporary artists would never fucking put their images on a masturbatory device, but
Yeah.
in Japan,
I think it's cool. They might even sell that. Do they sell that at 7-Eleven? I can't remember.
7-Eleven. That's so crazy.
I don't know, but
I can't remember. Yeah, this thing's kind of. I don't know why that microphone's moving.
Yeah, it's
or you
it's
just
fun.
make the whole thing just stay in one place.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, okay. Tengu, way to go.
yeah, I know.
Somebody out there who's Japanese, tell me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I have no
I
idea.
know what's going on here. It's this fucking wire.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And my number 1 hasn't happened to me yet, but it's happening. No, actually, it's not happening this weekend. It's happening. Fuck. All right. You know what? It's I guess my number 1 will probably be. I don't want to say it's my number 1, but it's this weekend is the fucking Hello Kitty show. I've got a painting in.
cool.
That's right.
Awesome.
Which will inevitably appear again fucking next week on my top 5 because
Wait, when is that? That's this weekend?
that's this weekend
okay.
at Corey Helford Gallery in downtown Los Angeles.
Boom.
What's his name? Andrew Brando's got a big old show at the same time.
Yeah.
He was actually here
Yeah.
checking out the Georgie Kosh show,
Yeah.
which is, on my top 5. And I recommend that you guys do it too.
Awesome.
I think Andrew would recommend it as well.
Yes.
So, Eric,
Yes.
let's hear it.
All right. Well, I actually have 10 things. Is that okay? I'll go faster.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Number 1, Giorgiko.
Yay!
Okay, so I guess I don't have to say too much, but great job, you guys.
Thank
This
you.
first show, it's a knockout for a first show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of first shows that I don't know, lot of confusion or exploration, I guess, and this one feels like this is your 10th show.
Yeah.
So
Production levels
Yeah.
were super high.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, this
to the
is-
point where I was kind of resentful.
well, that means you've done a great job, because when he gets resentful, it means you're hitting something inside.
That makes me feel small and insignificant.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. But that's a big compliment, actually. So,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, number 2 for me, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of roaring back.
Yeah, you talked about this in Hawaii.
Why? I don't know, but I guess I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but I don't have a Bitcoin. I have percentages of one. But remember when do you remember a year and a half ago about it was nuts, like on the news every day type of thing? Mm-hmm. It's kind of going back to where that was, but it's not making the news as much. But it may soon, because it's so the highest it ever got was almost 19,000. It is today. It hit around 12,000.
Oh,
but it went down as far as 3,000. Like that's how low it went.
Wow.
So now it's at 12, and that's like crazy because
wait, where was it like last week?
in Hawaii, I think it was under 10.
Yeah, like weren't they talking? I remember
Yeah,
I was
it
listening
was
to
under
a news podcast where they were talking about they wanted the Bitcoin to reach a certain point because people would lose their shit when it reached that.
They were
point.
thinking 10,000 was going to be the fear of missing out point. But so as soon as it hit 10, it went to 11, now 12. So it's in the last few days, it's gone from like 10, 11 to 12.
Cash out
So
now,
that's it.
buddy.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I have a cousin who watches it, and I guess, that it's sort of like the art thing that we talked about building hype.
Yeah.
But then this is sort of different. What happens is there's these people, they call them whales. So there's a person who has a shit ton of Bitcoin. He moved his Bitcoin into a wallet, which means ultimately that he's most likely going to sell soon. It's $110 million worth of Bitcoin this guy has, whoever it is, or woman. 110. Yeah. So everyone's now getting ready. Like it even made some like Bitcoin news that this is happening. So be ready for a drop. As soon as the person sells it, the people are going to see, oh shit, $110 million got cashed out. Like people might start selling there, and a little bit of sell off will happen, right? It's typical. And then that same buyer or that same person may
buy it back up.
Right. Buy
That's
to
crazy.
make a little more money, right? There's this manipulation going on. So I'm waiting for that to happen. It's just more of a phenomenon. Like I'm just tripping out on it. That's all. So that's why it's number 2. Yeah. Anyway, weird, right? Number 3, echo time for me. It's I talked about how I wanted to be more like Yosuke in terms of like he's recycling. He's kind of being a little more green, and here I am, coffee with a thermos coffee. Luke entertained it, so trying to use less stuff, and I'm recycling. I even started recycling here at the store. So your art show, I actually went through the trash and took out most of the plastic.
Wow.
Plastic bottles and stuff, and it's in a bag to recycle in the bathroom. Did you see that black bag?
I saw a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I know. Our bathroom's gross. But
Did you see the Drambuie?
No,
Oh, okay.
there's some alcohol in there too.
oh, no, I didn't.
There's a bottle of Drambuie that I always stare at when I use the restroom.
Okay, so number 4, I have a rental property, and there's a rat that died in the wall. It's kind of a bummer, right? And it can make. You ever have a rat die in a wall? You've had it.
Yeah, we had a
We've
pretty
had
bad rat
rodent
and mouse
problems.
infestation at our house.
Oh, so basically, I mean, you don't see this animal at all. Didn't even know it was there. Didn't know that there's a problem. But then one died in a wall, which makes there's a stench. Oh. Yeah. So, anyways, that's happening. Bummer. So part of it is you could punch holes in the wall to try to find it, and meaning you gotta basically break the shit out of your bathroom. Is that what you guys did?
We just let it
Okay.
rot.
How long did it take?
I don't know. It took a while.
Like 2
but
weeks?
I mean,
3 weeks? 2 weeks?
I don't know, because sometimes you just get used to this.
Oh. So basically, I think if we don't do anything, we're gonna wait it out, and because it'll decompose, turn into just a skeleton, and it won't smell anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Bummer though, because
Well, are there tenants? Are they complaining?
well, there's a second bathroom, so basically it's in a bathroom, and I told someone don't use that bathroom, just shut it down, turn on the fan, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's summer, so you could open those windows.
It's a bummer,
fan it
but
out.
yeah, you've had that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
guess
not fun.
I asked a plumber about it because like they're looking for water, right? That's where that's why they die in a bathroom often. But I guess it's really common.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
Makes
bummer.
sense.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Downer number 5 is I guess a thief at Giant Robot store. I just saw it on video maybe 2 hours ago. Someone just came in, stole some pins and some sunglasses at Giant Robot store, and it's on video. So I'm like, So if you're watching this live stream, I think I don't know if the video is public, but there's a video I'm going to make public that you can just watch these people do it.
I saw it on the way over.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I'd made that video private, but okay. Anyway, so some people watch it. I haven't really promoted it yet, but it's just
Do you see their faces?
kind of. It's just not the best video. So now I'm going to switch out the camera to a better one, so you can really see
Nice.
faces from now on. You could. I mean, if I saw them again, I would know.
Are you going to post like images on the back of the register? Like,
Oh, maybe.
fuck these
I
people.
don't know. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, okay, number 6. First Japanese basketball NBA player was drafted in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Rui
I saw
Hachimura
that.
was his name. Yeah, he played at Gonzaga University, and he's picked number 9. Means he's probably pretty badass. So, see what
Nice.
happens. Really cool. Number 7, Coswatch. Evidently, he's Cause is doing a he's doing those gigantic inflatable things, and he's doing one in Japan, and I guess he's doing one near Mount Fuji, which is kind of like maybe controversial, right? What do you think? Like it's gonna like mess with the landscape a little bit. I mean, it is
Well,
plastic. It's a blow up.
It's a temporary
Yeah,
thing,
but still-
right? Is it going to? Are they going to make it float?
I have no idea.
Or do they plan on like inflating this thing and make it look like he's like
Laying
making
down?
snow angels
I
on
have
fucking
no,
Mount Fuji?
I have no idea. But just so you know, that's happening.
Okay,
Yeah,
good for
that,
you.
That one's for you. Okay.
Good for you, cause you know. I mean, you know, at least it's fucking one. At least it's one of his characters. You
We'll
know.
see. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
You know, if he does a big old Bart Simpson with fucking X's on his eyes, I'll fucking like
Go there and pop
fly
it.
to fucking Japan and set that shit on fucking fire.
Oh man. Okay. Show number 8, Euphoria, the TV show. I watched 2 episodes, and that thing is, it's kind of frightening, and I don't know. It makes me really uncomfortable to watch. So maybe that means it must be good. I don't know.
It's all about like teens
Yeah.
being teens in this day of fucking social media, right?
These are like this. It gets a little extreme in Euphoria. So yeah, I wouldn't even fit on that show if I were one of those teens. I wouldn't even be there. So yeah, it's pretty extreme. Did you watch that?
No.
Oh, be careful of that one. Okay,
Okay.
number 9, the Citizen app. It's an app you can download for your iPhone, and I dig it because it tells about crime or things happening in your area. Like you can select the area in LA, so you can actually pick. Like I picked West LA, Palms, and Mar Vista, I think, or something like that, as my 3 zones. So it actually will send me a text if something's happening. So like yesterday, someone was beating up a woman, probably homeless, right? But it was really close to my house. There was a fire on the on the 10 freeway right near my house. Stuff like
Wow.
that. But it tells you, and it's kind of interesting because like as soon as I got the text yesterday of this thing like beating, I don't know, some kind of like man assaulting a woman thing. I could hear police cars about 2 minutes later. Like it's working.
So
So-
people post that, or like
I don't know where it's coming from. If that's
So
like a
interesting.
police, good. If you look at the whole city, it'll just.
There's been other apps
There's
like that.
There's
though.
stuff going on all
Nice.
over. This one's really good for some reason.
Like, you know, the problem with those apps is that it's completely dependent on, you know, participation by the people who use those apps.
Yeah.
And, you know,
But I feel like the original thing seems like it's associated with police or something. Like there's so much going on that it just can't believe that these are people. Like just random people just writing shit in. I have a feeling there's something more to it than that.
okay.
Yeah. I haven't researched it yet, but it just seems very like constant.
I'm just wondering whether or not, like, you know, in an area such as, like, you know, my area, the San Gabriel Valley,
Right.
would, like, have people, like, you know, actively using such an app.
I don't know, but it makes it kind of fun in a weird way. I'm kind of watching, going, oh my god,
Yeah.
like this is close by, you know.
White
So,
people problems, man.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess. And number 10, Giant Robot Hawaii. Sayonara.
Yes.
One last goodbye to that whole.
Is it over?
No, the show's still up, but
Yeah.
but we're not there. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
that was 10.
Aloha.
Sorry,
those are good.
Yeah.
no, not so good. But
Some of them are interesting.
your turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did a collaborative top 5.
Cool.
So number 5 would be, we just started watching a TV show again called Last Man on Earth. It's on Hulu.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you guys heard about that.
I've
They
seen-
canceled it though.
Is it a comedy?
It's like a comedy.
Right?
It's written by Will Forte.
I think I've seen a few episodes of that.
Yeah.
But
it's
he's
like-
not the last man on Earth, correct?
He's not.
He thought
Yeah.
he
He
was.
thought he was.
Okay.
But it's like all the cringiest parts of The Office times like 10. So it's like really cringy, but
awesome.
pretty funny. We've been really enjoying that.
What channel's that on?
I don't know what channel it was on. but it's on Hulu.
Wait, is it new or are these new episodes, or
No,
are you just
no,
watching?
no.
No, you're watching that.
I'm
Is it
rewatching it
the
again.
original?
Okay.
Or is it
No,
now?
no. It was on TV, but then it got canceled.
Hmm.
So it only has 4 seasons.
I remember that. I think I saw a little bit of it, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really wish they continued it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Number 4.
4.
So we've been trying to budget a little bit, especially lately. It's been really hard with, balancing work and Giorgiko and home and all this stuff. So we thought, it's really hard to cook and clean. Let's just drink some Huel. Have you guys heard of Huel?
Oh yes, I've heard
Yes.
of Huel.
I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I guess it's kind of like Soylent,
It's like
Oh, okay.
Soylent.
I know what
but
Soylent
no
is.
soy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually been really helpful. We think. We don't know if it's
How does it taste?
not good.
It tastes like protein. Like have you had Ensure?
Oh, I know what that is. That's
like-
for seniors.
Yeah,
usually,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like that, but
It's a
imagine.
heavy amount of fat and protein. in
Yes.
there, I guess. Yeah.
But it's like somebody blended uncooked oatmeal in it. It was like really grainy.
It's pretty gritty.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
gritty. Yeah.
Can you cook it and like make it taste better?
I don't think you're supposed to
Well,
cook
we
it.
got chocolate flavor, so that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, but we've been kind of living off of that. Oh,
Well,
not completely, but
no.
once in a while,
Maybe
you know,
one meal a day.
it's helpful to, pull out a smoothie rather than cook and clean or go to Taco Bell, which is what we did today.
Oh.
Yeah,
Taco Bell's good.
it
Yes.
is. It's too
I
good.
have it all over my shirt and my jeans right now.
I wouldn't know, but wow, Huel. Okay.
Huel.
Mhm.
It's-
Huel.
How do you
I've
spell
seen
that?
the videos. Huel, right?
HUEL.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's supposed to be human fuel, which I think sounds really gross.
Yeah, it sounds even
Is it
scarier.
new?
Yeah,
Like, 'cause-
I guess I only heard of it more recently.
okay. Huh.
Do you know?
I've learned about it a couple months ago, and I think on YouTube, like where there were people were doing the Huel kind of challenge, and I was intrigued by it. But then like I would like watch. I'd see their campaigns, and then
Yeah.
I'd like watch
Wow.
people review it and like just kind of complain about how awful it tastes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're drinking this 3 times a day? type of
No.
thing?
No. It's just like a meal
We're
replacement.
doing it for like breakfast usually.
But yeah,
you
more
still
so
eat-
for
you're
short on
eating
time.
Lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
eating solid
yeah.
food still.
But
Yes.
technically, I heard that you could just drink this.
Survive off of it.
for 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day.
Like
or
I heard,
whatever.
like Twitch streamers that play games and stuff, they'll like drink Soylent,
I've seen that.
and they actually look normal.
Right.
I don't know, for some
Right.
reason I think they'd look all crazy or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Are there other flavors? Are there other flavors other than the chocolate one?
They have vanilla and berry.
Oh,
Mm.
berry.
I did not like berry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
okay.
Does
I was
it
like-
have like sugar in it, or is it?
I think
There's
sugar.
some.
Yeah.
There's definitely some.
I mean, you need
yeah.
sugar. You need some kind of
Sweetener.
Sugar.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
I wouldn't want that.
I might try it. Might try it.
We should have
Okay.
brought some. That would have been fun. And just
Yeah.
Huel.
yeah. I don't know. It looks pretty scary though. Yeah.
It looks like drinking, uncooked oatmeal.
Yeah.
And water.
Mhm.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Where do you
about
buy
it.
Huel? Just like Amazon type of thing?
You can get it on Amazon, but we
Okay.
got it from their website because if you do a subscription, there's like a discount.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Going on
It comes out to
Amazon
like
right now.
$1 a
Oh, yeah.
meal.
The
That's why
breakdown
we
is
did
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah, it's like $1 a meal pretty much.
Yeah, maybe $1.50, something
Yeah.
like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not bad. I guess that's really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So number 3 for us would be Georgie Kosh show.
Yay.
Yeah, it's our first solo show, so yeah, we're super thankful. I think we were telling people that the first time we ever collaborated and kind of experimented with that was with the Posted show at Giant Robots. So it just
Wow.
felt so fitting to do our solo show, here. It's just, really awesome. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
2000.
12?
Yeah, maybe 2012.
13?
Maybe 2012. Yeah.
Something like that.
Were they the black and white ones at that time, or
No, they were in color.
They're color, and
Mhm.
they're really different. It's interesting how
did you do some in black and white though?
I didn't.
Can't remember.
Not
There's one
year.
that has like really muted colors.
Yeah.
The ones with the kids with the dogs.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Number 2 is all the friends and family who came out to support us. We were really
was
blown away.
That was
Yeah,
amazing.
we were
Yeah.
blown away. We knew that people were going to come. We knew that, our family's always been very supportive, but I think seeing everybody there was like
Mhm.
just crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I met like 2 new people the whole night because there was just wave after wave of friends and family
Yeah.
like coming at us with, congratulations and,
Yeah.
it was so exciting.
It was
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you guys rolled deep. That's all I gotta say. There was a lot. Like
A
at
lot,
6
yeah.
o'clock or something. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was like a family reunion or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very great.
Nice.
Yeah. What was our number one?
Our children are starting to walk.
Whoa.
Oh.
That was a bad one. That was pretty bad. Yeah, our boys are starting to walk. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to fence off areas.
Oh, we put up a fence a long time ago.
Yes, I have none, so I have no idea what that means.
It was
but-
awesome seeing you guys at the opening though, because early on you both had one of your kids each, and
Yeah.
you're kind of like, okay, hopefully we'll get them to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that was around 6 or something, at 6 o'clock. So you're trying to put them down right there, and
Yeah.
that was kind of funny. I was like, yeah, you guys were carrying them around the whole time. It was it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, twins. So
Twins.
Yeah.
yeah, what are their names?
Shepard and Hart.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Hart like Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
HRT.
HRT.
HART.
Yeah.
What about Shepard? Where did that come from?
We really like the name, but it's more so the meanings that really stood out to us. Because actually, we couldn't think of anything until like 2 weeks before they were born.
Yeah.
And we started hearing horror story after horror story. Like Darren's dad was like, I heard the story on the radio of this lady who ended up, like, her name was female.
Yeah. Our boy.
Her parents couldn't figure out what to name her. So
Yeah.
we were like freaking out
And the boys
about
came
that.
a month and a half early,
Oh yeah.
like kind of
Yeah.
surprised. So we were like, oh man, we got to think of it.
Yeah, but luckily we
Yeah.
got it right away.
Yeah. And we feel like, we like them. Good names.
Yeah.
Can you tell them apart easily?
Mhm.
You guys can.
We
yeah.
can. Yeah. We
Yeah.
think they look completely different. But a lot
Yeah.
of people think they look the same because
Yeah.
they are identical.
There.
Right.
Yeah.
But one of them is, Shepard is like 3 pounds heavier than Hart.
Oh,
And for like such a small size, that's a pretty
It's a lot.
big,
Yeah.
significant number.
how did that happen?
He loves to eat.
He eats. Yeah. And Hart likes to throw his food on the floor.
Oh,
Like
not
not-
so identical.
Yeah. they are so different. It's so funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so at the end of the meal, if you compare their trays, Shepard's is like immaculate. Like you wouldn't even know that a baby was eating off of the tray. But Hart's will be like disgusting, covered in food.
Yeah.
Wow, 3 pounds difference. Yeah, that's a big difference because they're still little, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how old are they now?
14 months.
14. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, for those people out there who might be watching who don't know you guys, tell us about you guys. Tell us about yourselves. How did all this happen? Your pasts, your educations, etc., in the arts, and etc., etc.
Well, we both went to Art Center, and that's how we met.
Yeah, we
And,
met at orientation.
Yeah. we met at
Wow. You mean like
orientation.
the first minute you're there, kind of on campus type of
Before
thing?
classes even started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met while we were in line to get our ID photos taken.
Are you guys? Are you guys both from Southern California?
No.
Not me. I'm from San Jose.
Oh, San Jose. Cool.
Yeah, I grew up in like Orange County, LA area.
La Habra.
La Habra. Whittier, La Habra. Yeah. Yeah, so we went to Art Center. That's where we were friends and everything. And then the poster show is really where we experimented. And it was literally just an experiment. I was like, because I think for myself, I was like, I can't think of anything to paint.
Wait, were you guys? Did you guys already graduate by then?
I was graduated. She might have
I
been.
might have been in school.
She might have been like towards her last term.
I think
What-
you were still in. I think I remember this. Maybe still in school.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't
What-
remember the exact date.
What did you guys study in Art Center?
Illustration. Yeah. Illustration design. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that like the same class with like Christine Wu and Soy Milk and all of those people?
I think so.
Yeah, we came in the same year as Zoe.
Same year.
Actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Christine was our design 1 or design
And,
2
TA.
TA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that seem to have come in and graduate like around that period that are like rising up, coming on,
Yeah, actually.
So you guys studied illustration, and
But I think were you more of doing paintings? At one
Yeah,
time,
I was
think,
doing
or-
like just portraits and trying to be realistic, but to be honest, I think I was really struggling. And then all my paintings were more heavy subject matter. Like I couldn't imagine doing anything fun or cute because I just wanted to do serious things. And then so that's why this is really interesting because it's kind of in between for both of us.
But I remember I showed your works before they were kind of like architectural, sort of, and landscape, but urban landscape, kind of work, and always had signage. Maybe there was signage in it, right? Yeah. I remember that work.
Yeah. I had fun with it. It was a good experience to kind of do that because actually the reason why I went into that whole architectural phase was I just got really bored with portraiture and I couldn't do backgrounds actually. So I was like, I'm just going to do only backgrounds with no people in it. And that's how I kind of branched into that stuff.
Wait, you couldn't do backgrounds?
Yeah, or they terrified me.
So then you just worked on backgrounds only?
Yeah, it was funny. It was like all my portraits would just be a person in kind of like very sparse, nebulous background. Not that it's a bad thing, but I wanted to push myself. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Why does it sound so fucking familiar?
Trust me, your paintings are way more interesting than my paintings. That's like very honest.
So, and you were doing something that was more illustration-ish, I guess you would say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to study children's book illustration. That was my main goal of going into art school and like studying art. But I feel like, because I took a 2-year break from school. So I was in school for 2 years. I did all the,
foundations.
Yeah, like foundational, basic stuff, drawing and painting, stuff like that. And then I took a break. And when I came back, it was kind of like starting over because I was like, I don't really remember where I left off. I don't know where I'm going. So I was just trying random stuff.
So you did 2 years at Art Center and took a break for 2?
Took a break for 2 and then graduated another 2. Oh, wow. Maybe 2.5, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were going into entertainment for a while too.
Oh yeah.
She was in the entertainment track for a little while.
Yeah.
Like animation or like art related or like acting or something like
that? No, art related.
Yeah, art related. Kind of like, storyboard.
Yeah. Like character design. That kind of stuff. Yeah, because I just couldn't figure out where I fit, So I tried entertainment and I felt like it wasn't really it either. So then I switched back to illustration design. I was like, I don't know, this isn't really working out either. So yeah, I was just trying different stuff at that time. But kind of where Giorgiko comes from is this children's book that I was working on. And, our main character here, her name is Wonder. And at the time she didn't have a name, but she was the main character of a story I was working on. And then I felt like it had a lot of potential, a lot of promise. So it was kind of on hold for like future plans. But then Darren, he really liked the characters and he liked the story. And then so he just kept on throwing ideas at me like, oh, what about this? What if Wonder went through this or that? And it was like kind of annoying at first. And I was like, well, nice, but this is my story. Yeah. But actually I really came to appreciate like his suggestions and the way that his mind worked. And I think that's how we started collaborating together on the paintings. Because Darren was like, what if I painted your characters? Mm-hmm. And then Post-it Show happened.
Mm-hmm. So wait, what year was that? Because that was 2012? That long ago?
Yeah.
Okay, because that was still under, your Post-its were under your name, right?
Yeah.
Or Darren in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Up until last year, actually. A little bit before last year, we're still just Darren and Trisha.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then we created Giorgiko. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys start collaborating after you guys got married, or did you guys start collaborating like,
It was before. It was before.
Yeah, when we were dating.
Yeah, when we were dating. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always kind of like intrigued by the, like artists who collaborate and become known for their collaboration, like the Cozy and Dans, the Haircuts, the Giorgikos, the Clayton Brothers, Debs and Mila, there's like a ton of them. And everyone obviously has a different process, but you were explaining to me that, the process was drawing, painting, light, drawing, painting, lighting kind of thing. It's always funny because like, when I, because I'm such a dick, You know, I keep looking at it. I'm like, all right, who's doing the heavy lifting here? So, but I mean, that seems to be a pretty even, split, just because narratively and conceptually, like it
was Trisha's ideas.
Yeah, those are that's not easy to kind of like keep a consistent flow of ideas going, especially trying to create, like, how many pieces are in this show?
There's 30 pieces. Yeah.
So wait, can you talk about how you go about the process of it? I mean, are you sketching in a sketchbook, or can you just explain how you get through that?
I do have a sketchbook that I work in, and sometimes Darren will like flip through the sketchbook and find pictures that he likes and be like, "Oh, this one. Like, I'm going to paint this one." And other times he already has the idea. He asks me to draw it on the board for him, and then he'll paint over it. So kind of depends. Yeah. But I think when it comes to the concepts, we do talk about a lot of stuff.
And I work most comfortably intuitively. So I think, like, sometimes we'll start the character without even knowing the background. And then as we develop the character, we're like, oh, it'd be really interesting juxtaposition if we put this kind of background in here. And then Trisha will give her input and stuff like that. So it really is like we're going back and forth a lot with a lot of all the pictures. And then even it's interesting now because Trisha has a few drawings in the show, and the style of her drawings, she was looking at my paintings. So it's interesting how my paintings started off being an inspiration from her drawings. Now her drawings are being inspired by the paintings. So it's constantly kind of developing. I think it's, just growing and kind of becoming stronger, more unique. Yeah.
How well is Darren executing what you think he should be executing?
He's doing a great job. Well, he paints very well. I can't paint very well at all. So when it comes to that, he's doing an amazing job. But a lot of times the things that I nitpick at are like, the head is a little like funny shaped, or like, why'd you make the dog look so derpy, or whatever. So a lot of times it's the design of the character, the drawing itself that I might.
Do you go back and then work on those things?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Well, it's kind of funny. Well, it's interesting because I feel like it is now in this weird middle place where it's not exactly Trisha's drawing style, and it's not necessarily how I would paint it if I was doing it by myself. So it's kind of at this middle, specifically for the dogs. If you look at our early post-its, those dogs have changed a lot. And then even the some of the characters, the proportions maybe have changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess you've been at it now for like 7 years, right? We're developing this kind of collaboration. So.
And I never thought about it. Yeah, but yeah.
It's a little longer than I thought too. But I think I didn't realize that these are going to be consistent characters. I thought these are just images, temporary. Then the next year comes, I'm like, oh yeah, here's more of these. But it's because I didn't see in between post-its, throughout the year. Sometimes I didn't see, so I always thought, I was like, oh yeah, they're just doing a little more of these. But no, it's awesome to see that these characters are like for real, like they're solid in your lexicon or canon. What about the lighting part? Like, is that either of you? Because if you're studying a little bit of entertainment, there's a lot of lighting involved there. But I wasn't sure if that's what you're picking or if you guys are working on that together. Because I think lighting is very specific in your works here. I mean, there's some crazy directions. Just from me doing photography, I'm like, oh yeah, this one's got like a side, highlight on the side and.
Oh yeah, that's that. Like, I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's art school shit right there.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all Darren.
Is
yeah,
oh, okay.
That's all Darren.
Yeah, I definitely think more in dimension and mass, and Trisha's definitely thinking more line and concept, story.
Yeah, even when I was working on my drawings, and I was like trying to figure out the lighting, I was like, Darren, help me! I don't understand what's happening. And he would like draw a grid for me and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I'm actually looking at, staring at the show right now, and all the paintings that feature the Wonder character kind of have, like, dare I say, post-apocalyptic kind of, feel to them. Is that, is that part of her narrative? Like, a lonely child existing inside a falling apart kind of world kind of thing, or...
I mean, I feel like there's elements of that. We initially wanted to do a more narrative-driven story, That's what we were trying to work towards I'd say like maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. That's what we thought we were going to do. But then at this point, we kind of decided that if we did that, it would limit how far we could expand the universe and the world that she's living in. So for this body of work, we were kind of just trying to explore different places. But yes, there is an idea of her kind of journeying through different lands. So for example, like the one pile up on Route 6.66, the one where she's like smashing all the cars and stuff like that. We initially we're gonna have her go through a land of the small, which is like where she's giant and everything else is tiny, and all the people are crazy fearful of everything and protective because they're always getting smashed. But then, for example, the one over there with the dogs and the more realistic kind of type figure, that one was gonna be like the land of the big, where she kind of goes through a different land where, you know, everything's different, you know, and it's. Yeah. And then even stylistically, we're like, oh, it'd be cool because certain lands we could bring in slightly different styles and stuff, but try to maintain cohesive characters and yeah.
I'd love to see you explore these worlds in even more paintings.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just because they're, you know, it's hard to like just summarize like, you know, a land in one painting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It'd be fun to like, you know, expand on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But then then you have a lot of other characters that you've been playing around with that are not the Wonder character, and like, you know, you have some kind of hip hop inspired stuff. You have like and then you have like this kind of weird Renaissance-y kind of like, you know, aesthetic that you're playing around with. Like,
Can you first talk about the hip hop part of it?
yeah.
That one's kind of that's kind of been, I've been seeing that for a little bit. So
Yeah.
is that your influence, Trish?
Oh, you know
Oh,
how
yeah.
cool I am. No, all credit goes to Darren for that one too.
Yeah, I was in high school. Like that's, I think, like underground hip hop and stuff like that. That had a huge influence on me. I was really into dancing and graffiti for a season. So yeah, like there's something about the movement of the music, the movement of the graffiti that I really liked. The style and the fashion as well.
What year is this?
2006, 2005, 2006, 2007, something like that.
Wait, you were in high school then?
Yeah.
Whoa, young.
I know.
What? What?
2007, he was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I graduated 2007. Trisha
Wow.
did too.
Wow.
So wait, hip hop, right? I'm trying to even think. 2007. What is that? That's I'm trying to think of the eras in the music.
So I wasn't listening to anything mainstream at that time.
Okay.
I think since I was into dancing, but more not like. So this was before the America's Best Dance Crew and all that stuff came out, or if it was just coming out. So I got into dancing because I saw somebody popping, and I was like, "What the heck is that? Like, that's so cool." So I got really into popping, which kind of led me, you know, towards like old school type stuff, boogaloo, and I didn't get into breaking because I was too afraid of like hurting myself. But yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, you could
were
break
you
your
at Art
neck.
Center then? No, but this is right before Art Center.
Yeah, it's before Art Center.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was your go-to move? What did you do? Not that I know, but
I was doing, I think people, if they were to say I did something well, people would say I isolated well.
oh, I don't even
So
know what
that
that
means
is.
like if
know.
I'm doing like different waves and stuff like that, I could isolate my body so my head wouldn't move and yeah, stuff like that.
Wait, did you like that guy named David Elsewhere? Do you know who that
Yeah,
is? That's
yeah,
about
yeah,
that
yeah.
era, right?
Yeah, yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
He was kind of
It
popular.
was a little bit before YouTube, so I remember I saw him on like E-Bomb's World or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. I guess he's a viral video.
I mean, I know the idea of what you're talking about.
But he was sort of like a stand. Was he a standout, or was he just a regular guy who just happened to be in a good video?
Well, that video that
I'm talking about the
went
one
viral,
it was like a competition.
yeah,
right?
it was like a collaboration, that Korean
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's because he just looks so out of the ordinary. He looked like this guy. He was like wearing an orange turtleneck. Like he just looks kind of like not like he's gonna dance.
Yeah. No,
And
I think
then-
that was the whole thing. Unassuming,
yeah,
right? And then all of a
unassuming.
sudden he's like
Crazy.
the greatest ever type of
Yeah,
thing.
and it's like,
Yeah.
and he has like a really weird, unique style. But yeah.
He's the
Yeah.
one who did the Singing in the Rain.
Singing in a red, yeah,
Commercial?
the VW commercial. I think, yeah, they used a body double or something.
Yeah, he's kind of amazing. Anyway.
Wow, so you're like a b-boy.
Yeah, I would call myself back then a popper.
Okay.
But it's also cringy time in my life because I mean, like me and my friends, we were like trying so hard to be cool.
Oh, so you like were all like the fashion that was like in and
I was an artist too at that time, right? So I was like, or trying to be. So I was like, all the clothes I wore like were stuff that I would like stenciled, and like the stencils I'd spray paint on the street, I'd put it on my clothes.
Oh, so you're even doing street shit.
Yeah, trying to, and then like me and my friends would just walk around like trying to find, because it's almost like at that time it was weird because we could find people that we knew were dancers. So we'd walk around just like trying to find people to like battle, and it's just it's so cringy in my mind. It's so cringy.
Where? This is on the streets of Orange County?
This is rich.
And
this
that's what's
rich.
weird.
Wow.
It was like I remember doing it at malls. I remember doing it at other places.
Malls?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
so do you point at each other like you're like?
I'm constantly just thinking breaking,
Well, yeah, like you
I-
do a move and you do a
No,
pose, and
I'm
you
like,
kind of.
it's like painful to remember these
right.
things, but I do remember like being like, hey, those guys are the dancers over there. Let's go up to them and like bust a move in front of them, and it's so embarrassing because we thought we were so cool. And sometimes,
That's awesome.
sometimes they would dance, sometimes they would start, but other times we got weird looks, like what are they doing?
Because they weren't dancers.
Yeah.
Wait, were you like a freshman or is this a senior? Which,
Oh, man,
there's a
I
big
wanna
difference
say-
there.
No, I was not a senior. Okay, so it's kind
Okay.
of started to phase out. Well, actually, no. I do remember grad night.
Grad night.
Trying to battle some people.
Was that Disneyland or something?
It was Disneyland.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
And it was funny because I think my school was there with Compton, Roosevelt, so some pretty like street schools. And I remember trying to battle some people, and they were just like, this little Asian guy. No, like, they won't even give me like the time of day. Like, won't even look at me. And I was like, okay, fine.
Wow.
Did you do graffiti too, though? Because I'm seeing
Yeah.
graffiti sort of in the backgrounds of some of the paintings.
So I don't think I would ever call myself a graffiti artist,
Right.
but I did. I spray painted stuff out there. Yeah.
Or did you do it mostly in sketchbooks? I wasn't. Some people.
I did do it in sketchbooks, but yeah, I did do some walls, and I really loved stencils at the time too. So I was doing stencils. Me and my friends were trying to be creative in how we were doing it, like putting them at the bottom of bags, and so that like you spray paint in the bag and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Somebody asks, can Darren do an isolation move for us?
Oh no.
Yeah. Actually, that question has come through.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to.
I'm doing it right now for those of you that are listening on the podcast.
Yeah. That's awesome. But that's crazy. Now I understand where kind of some of this comes from.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have heard that before or they exactly know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Trish. What skeletons do you have in your closet?
Aren't you gonna ask me to see if I will dance too? It won't be impressive.
Wait, so you
I
did?
don't know. Shoot, no.
Wait, did you do any of this in college? Like, did she see you do any of this? Because you guys are at Art Center.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how we fell in love.
Oh yeah, she saw me pop in. She did see me dance at
Yeah, like
certain
at
parties.
parties and
Yeah,
stuff.
there were a few dancers at Art Center. There's some good dancers, so we did a few little ciphers and stuff like that.
Wow. So it did continue.
A little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit. And,
But it was more like a secret cool side,
yeah.
Instead of going around challenging people.
I wasn't trying to flex my dancing skills
Yeah.
constantly. I wasn't dancing in the class,
Actually, okay, side note. We've been going through our old photos on our computer, and I love finding these practice dance videos
my
that
God.
Darren
Oh,
has
there's
from back in the
video?
day.
Trisha's the only one who's seen these things.
And I will just watch him and watch him.
Oh my gosh.
Because I love the look on Darren's face of like, I want to die right now.
Yeah, they're super painful. Yeah, that's her privilege of being married to me. She gets to see all those
I
things.
get to see all the cringy
Wow.
things.
Oh, so back in the day, I remember, like Westwood. Did you know Westwood Village was once the busy, epicenter of Southern California? I don't know if you knew that, Luke. You probably did. No? Oh, you weren't here.
I wasn't here.
So yeah, back in, I guess in 80s, 80s, Westwood Village. People would come from Orange County, Santa Monica, I mean, all over LA to go to Westwood Village. There'd be like 10,000 people there or more every like Friday night and Saturday night. Cars were cruising bumper to bumper the whole night. And there was breakdancing and popping going on too, like all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's back in the 80s. So I used to like go there and watch and be like, oh my God, so you just missed it by a couple decades. But it was happening
Trying
there.
to start it at the mall.
Yeah. Well, the mall is kind of like probably the same kind of thing, but it's just, you go where people accumulate and then they're there just like flexing.
I know. I kind of feel like
flexing.
you're like 20 years too late, because like, the entire like breakdancing thing, from the 80s.
Yeah, but then it got big again, right?
Well, I feel like when all the dance TV shows,
Jabberwockies,
but it was different. It's like it's not the same as like the old school type stuff. It was a lot of like routines and stuff. There wasn't as much like creativity. I mean, there's a lot of creativity involved in that, but not like spontaneous interpreting the music right then and there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I remember back when I was in elementary school, like they would like have a linoleum fucking mat they would pull out with with bricks on it with the fucking like spray painted breaking.
Yeah.
or just cardboard, right?
Yeah.
Just you carry around cardboard. That's like breakdancing, but yeah.
Well, and popping and locking was all like part of that, like breakdancing.
Yeah. So I learned a new word. Admittedly, I don't know how it flew by me, but the second to last painting in the show, number 29, I guess, is the Church Camp Cipher. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Church Camp Cipher.
Yeah, that's the name of the piece, and it's 4 kids, and they're tutting.
Tutting.
Do you ever heard of tutting?
I have no
Like
idea
King
what
Tut?
tutting is.
Yeah.
King Tut type stuff, like the hieroglyphics, and they're going like this.
Right.
Anyway, so I guess that's a break. That was a dance style, and it was called tutting, and I never heard of it until.
You would recognize it because they definitely have it in all the new dance stuff, but
I don't remember it though. Like in the 80s, like I don't remember seeing anyone do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was in the original forms. It might have been. I know there are people in the 90s that were doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your dad even said it at the opening. He goes, "Oh, the one where they're." I think he said that was one of his favorites.
Yeah.
The one where they're tutting, and I'm like, "Your dad's saying that we're tutting," and I'm like,
That's because he had a son who was trying to be cool.
That's so cool. Love that. Wow. Yeah. So there's a second part of the art that Luke brought up that he noticed. He called it a Renaissance style. But it's like, is that what you would call that, or is it? I mean, I see it as like pilgrims bringing food to something.
Yeah,
I see. It's
I'm
all
not
the
sure.
weird
I'm not sure.
frilly stuff that kind of makes me think of.
Can you talk about those pieces?
Well, I mean, I love classical painting. I just think it's like beautiful. I like their subject matter. I like how their compositions are really interesting to me. And then clothing wise, we just thought it was it's so extreme and it's just like over the top. We kind of liked that. So we kind of, and then we like the juxtaposition because of the hip hop, even like, graffiti, those like throw ups and bombs in the background.
Yeah.
And then they're standing in front of it, but they're like completely the opposite. It feels very opposite, So, yeah, but we also kind of, in the world that we're trying to create, we kind of wanted the extremes to be in that world so that we can have everything in between, in a sense. And then we didn't want it to be really necessarily tied to a time and place. So it's kind of, you could see, like, I imagine this kid walking down the street with like, crazy rough on, hanging out with, the crazy breakdancer kid or something like that, Or like all the kids in the Renaissance outfits being a part of a gang or something like that.
That shit should be brought back.
That's funny.
That shit should be totally like huge hats and
Huge ruffs.
Yeah.
Do you see that guy's rough? Yeah.
Boom.
But they're going to a picnic, right? Is that what it is?
They're going to a potluck.
A potluck. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we kind of thought it was funny that none of them have entrees. It's just like,
They're all
that
snacks.
actually
junk food.
happens.
Yeah,
Right? You go to potluck and it's like, oh, there's popcorn.
Yeah.
There's chips. There's soda. And then it's like,
Yeah.
what happened to the food?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like, oh, you brought pizza. Thank you. It's like,
Yeah.
finally, there's real food. Pizza.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
And then there's the guy with the guacamole,
Oh, yeah. The
but
last
he's
one.
running late.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And we thought it was really funny that, since he's wearing like modern attire, maybe he's running late by a few centuries.
Yeah. And he's also like in the snow.
Yeah, and completely wrong season and place.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't even. I I didn't even make that like association.
No,
That,
I knew
like,
those a food. I knew those. The
like I saw
guacamole.
those two, and they look like they're like all kind of belong together, and but and I thought that was coleslaw for some reason. And I was like, literally, I was like, oh, coleslaw. Like, that is a food I don't like. Next.
And also, one thing about this show is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at the Yosuke Yamamoto's opening, you said we just finished our last painting, like the night before his opening.
Yeah.
That's crazy early.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your organization, like on how you decided to work and like what kind of time you accomplish a timeline? Because most artists work until the night before the show. You were done 3 weeks early, basically.
I think because we're business owners as well, and then we have kids, so I think we have a tight schedule, and I think we have enough things that can be stressful in our lives. So I think we're trying to like ease as much stress as possible. So this one we just wanted, since our first solo show, we didn't know what kind of problems we were going to run into. So we just wanted to leave that buffer room, which I'm kind of glad we did, because then we were able to do the prints. We were able to do other things. We have pins apparently coming in the mail.
Yep,
We
hopefully
really,
soon.
we really wanted those to be there on the opening night, but those are all things we were able to do because, I think we knocked out the paintings. Yeah. I'm not sure if that'll be the case with every show. The shows that we have for the rest of the year, I'm like pretty nervous actually.
How do you go and do that though? Is it like did you have a calendar where you're setting up certain paintings by certain dates, or how do you go and?
Trisha, we had
I
a schedule.
did.
We had schedules for Trisha's drawings. We had schedules for me. I was working on 3 or 4 paintings at the same time, and then and they were all, actually I was probably working on all of them at the same time, but they were all at different levels, and I was organizing them by like 3 or 4 every week. So I would finish some, I would start some, and then I'd be in the middle of some, and then I just bounced between all of them. But my goal was to get like 3 done a week. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You mentioned you have a school.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the business you just mentioned, right? Can you talk about that a little bit? And what made you want to start a school of all things?
You want to share about that?
We didn't want to start a school, actually. So the story is Darren and I were working at an already existing art school as teachers.
While we were at
students.
Art Center.
While we were at Art Center, just part-time jobs. And then after a few years, the previous owner, at the time, she told us that she wanted to retire, but she didn't want the school to, cease to exist because she cared about the students, she cared about the parents, she wanted them to continue to have a great service. So we got into business talks, and essentially we are buying the business out from her. We're in the 3rd year of our business contract with her, and then after this year, it's all ties will be, or everything will be kind of wrapped up. Yeah.
Right.
Because we are the owners, but there's just loose ends here and there. Yeah. So it's funny because it was totally not on our radar at all to be teachers. And actually, honestly, I think we had this preconceived notion that people who don't make it, they resort to teaching. Because I think growing up, we saw that a lot.
You guys have
right?
heard that phrase, like those who teach because they can't do, right? Or something like that.
Which is like, what about all the art center teachers?
Well, I mean, that's different because they're working in the industry, right?
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
It's like
They're different. Remember, they're different. They're different. Okay.
But I'm talking about the high school art teachers or the after school teachers.
But I love my high school art teacher, so
Yeah.
Mr. Jenberg, I love you.
But you didn't make it as an artist.
No, I didn't say that,
No,
Mr. Jenberg.
no.
I didn't say that.
I think teaching at a public school like that is that's another story. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's tough.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
way underpaid probably,
true.
and
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's I think that's different.
I think it was just our. It was
No,
just
that's
our.
It's a perception.
They do that for the
It's-
love.
Yeah, and for us, it was
Yeah.
like, man, we spent all this money at Art Center.
We better become professionals, or we better jumpstart our career.
So it kind of felt like and we were young, and it's like, I can imagine teaching when I'm older, but we're young, we should be working on a career.
Right. Yeah. So it was just a complete surprise. But the more we thought about it, the more we were like, yeah, it totally makes sense. If you love what you're doing, and if you can share, and if you can help grow other people, it's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, it was great. We saw it as a good opportunity. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So what kind of students do you have? Are they older, younger, middle-aged, teen?
I'd say majority of our students are junior high.
That's average.
We try not to take any students younger than 7, at least for us personally, because our classes they do take notes. It's our goal for our school is to educate the kids on the how and the why they create the image, as opposed to, I think we've all seen or been a part of some sort of art experience where the teacher, like the kids don't know what they're doing, but the teachers just like draw this, shade this, color this. And then at the end, when they go home, they really don't know how to do anything on their own. So we're teaching, composition, color theory, all these things.
So you're not just teaching them how you do stuff, right? I mean, you're trying to get them to explore a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's mainly
Gotcha.
traditional mediums. We are branching a little bit into digital mediums with some of the high school students.
Yeah.
And then I have a senior citizens watercolor class.
Oh,
that is my favorite.
I met one.
Yeah,
I
she
think
came to one of the show-
Yeah, one
to the
student. She was. I don't know how old she was.
Yeah, they're all it's so cool.
One
They're-
came. Yeah.
They're all Japanese American senior citizens.
Oh, they. I had no
Yeah, and they
idea.
just happen to be that way. So they all I just love hearing their stories, of camp and different things like that.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, how old
Yeah.
are they?
So I would say between their 80s and 90s.
Oh my God. So wait,
Wow.
was one of
She was younger. The one that
Okay,
came.
I didn't think she
Yeah.
was 80.
No, I think she might be. Well, she might be in her early 80s.
What if she's not? She'd be really mad.
Oh yeah. sorry, Lillian.
She's,
You look great.
She's friends with your bachan.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's friends with my bachan, my grandma.
And she was here, right?
My grandma was
This is
here.
91.
Yeah.
She's 91 years old.
Yeah.
I met her. She's
She's
cool.
the coolest grandma.
Yeah.
Both my grandmas were the coolest grandmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what are the harder parts? Is it teaching or is it running a school? Like what does that entail? Like running an art school sounds kind of nutty,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't.
Well, our school has right now, on a weekly basis, our school serves around 130 students.
Holy smokes.
So,
130,
and then
jeez.
we don't teach all those classes, but right now Trish is teaching pretty much all of them.
But there's an elementary school right up the street who I think only have 250 students at a public elementary school. So your school is more than halfway to what they even have.
But that's all at once.
It's
not
not-
for us.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh.
students come once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
a little
so-
hard to fit them in our
130
But
building.
people.
still, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a good amount.
No, it's a
It
lot.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of students.
So it is it's taken. I think it's changed a lot of how it's grown us. I think a lot, which has been awesome. But we definitely have to rely on each other because we can't do it individually alone because there's a lot of admin stuff. We streamline a lot of things. We kind of try to make things all digital. We use an app at our school, so we communicate with our parents through the app.
What about the bookkeeping? Like that's got to be the worst.
Yeah, well, we have a schedule for tuition, and the tuition is on a quarterly basis.
Right.
So payments only come in, on a fixed schedule. But Trisha, if it was me, it would be a mess. But Trisha, she's pretty organized,
I'm learning.
Well, she's way
I'm
better than
figuring
I
it
am.
out, yeah.
She's way better than
I was going
I
to say
am.
that's the dirty part of the business is like
Yeah.
you could teach, okay,
Yeah.
you can have a say I got a school and be around, but when it comes time to doing the bookkeeping, man,
It's hard.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know. Maybe you like it, Luke, but I hate it. You love it, huh? I can
Oh,
see it
yeah.
in your face.
Yeah, you
So,
know
but
me.
you guys have way more inventory, and you guys are, you have a good that you're or a lot of goods that you guys are exchanging. We have a service which I think is a little bit easier to keep track of. It's really
Yeah.
just the students, on their roster, and
Actually, I have no goods.
I don't know. You have you have 130 names to remember. That's already hard.
it's funny because I thought I am horrible with names. All my cousins will attest. I got their names wrong.
you
all
can't
the
you
time.
can't remember your cousin's
Seriously,
name.
it's hilarious. All right,
Oh, no.
they used to test me at family parties to get all nervous, and then I get them all wrong.
No.
But then, I don't know.
Wait, could you have
remember.
named everybody this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
now,
over it
now,
You're
I'm
good
over
now.
it. I'm good.
Okay.
But now our students, I'm actually surprised. We know all their names, and yeah, we have. It's really cool. I think because our classes, they're limited to 6 students per class, so it's
wow.
a very small, intimate classroom. And I would say we have relationship with 90% of the parents and the students, where we have good communication, or we try to have as best communication as possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So wait, what's the name of the school? We haven't even said that yet.
Oh, it's Rainbow Art
Rainbow Art.
Rainbow
And
Art.
MPK.
in
Monterey Park.
Monterey Park.
Yeah.
And what was it always called the same? Was it the same name before?
Same name.
Yep.
Okay. Was that
Yeah.
school really old, or is it kind of?
15 years old
15
before we took
years.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think we're the only art school left in Monterey Park. There were a
Really?
few other ones, but
I thought there's still one
They've
down
been
the street.
closing down. Yeah.
Oh.
And you guys are near Mama
Lou's.
Lou's dumpling.
Walking
God,
distance.
there's so many Mama Lou's.
There are.
Yeah.
And it's funny because some of them are not called Mama Lou's anymore. Like, I don't know if you knew about the one on San Gabriel and Valley.
Oh my gosh.
We went there. We got all excited because it's the grand opening of a new dumpling place. And we got in there and they had the same menu. And we're like,
And
wait
it
a
was Mama's-
minute.
Mama
So it's a
Lou's.
second. Wait, how many of those are there? There's
There's
two.
3 or 4
Oh, but
that are
aren't-
actually the same restaurant.
Aren't there some on the same street?
Yes,
Yes.
there's Mama's Lou
Right.
Which
and
is the
Mama
one
Lou's.
we're across the
Oh.
street.
Wait, okay. Wait. One of them is near I think an elementary school, right? Or is there one
Across
That
the
one's
street.
Mama Lou's.
That one.
That's
yeah.
Mama Lou's.
So I've been to that one a couple times.
The
at
one that we
least.
go to is called Mama's Lou.
And that one is, and your school is near that one?
Yes, we're
Yeah.
next to Mama's Lou.
Oh, you're next to it?
we're
Across the-
close.
Across
Okay.
the street and like half a
Oh,
block.
okay.
half a
block.
down.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've been to both of those, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Our school is like right by Johnny Thompson Music Studio.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll see
I-
that if you're looking for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know it. When I was asking Darren. Oh my God, I'm so bad.
Yes,
with names.
Darren.
Darren or is
Wow.
it Daryl?
Georgiko, my name's Georgiko.
You know, but like, yeah, I know the exact, because I always turn, like, when I go to my studio in Monterey Park, MPK, but I literally like drive right by you guys, and so like that
Oh.
Shell station on New and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
the studios, you guys are like situated right between there.
Yeah.
I understand. So
Yeah.
yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad we get to talk about the school part. And also, I've seen, it seems like the school and maybe you guys do a good job, at least, seems like you're doing stuff with at least pushing Monterey Park. I think it's on was it on your t-shirt or is it on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just things that people don't necessarily think about too much is the
Yeah.
fact that it seems like you're connecting to an area a little bit, which I always
Yeah.
like.
We're trying to, because I think the thing that actually, one of the main things that helped us pull the trigger and actually taking the business was we always were we started to become really interested in the idea of like, what does it look like to live in a city and then also be like helpful to the city as well. So I'm not really sure what's happening right now because there's a lot of stuff happening in Monterey Park, but we got asked to be on the bid district board, which is basically our street of Garvey, to help kind of like improve it. I don't really know what that looks like, but what we would love to see is like opportunities for our students to do murals, because we actually did do a mural in Claremont for a coffee shop, and we brought one of our students out to do it with us, and I felt like that was a really great experience to kind of have her watch us do the process of interacting with them, and then also like how we were sketching it out and planning it out, and then to have her paint on the wall as well. That was
Wow.
really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So we hope to have more stuff like that, because Monterey Park, Luke knows, like there's no art there. It's
No,
like
no, there's some really badly painted electrical boxes all over
Yeah.
the place.
Those are by students.
I think some of our students have done it, but
Like
we,
I
but
said,
we weren't
really
involved.
badly painted.
We weren't involved. We'll try to do better ones.
No connection.
No.
That's
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah.
Cool. Another question I've had, and I'm kind of wondering, is how did you guys go about doing the social media part of your work? Not showing your work, but there's like, I feel like you had a really good swell of social media hype for the last, I'd like to say more than 1 year, but I mean, maybe it's heavily within the last 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, literally that.
That was due. I really have to give credit to we have an agent. His name's Tom. And
Secret Agent Tom.
Secret Agent Tom. He's incredible, because I think, us doing a business and having twins, it makes it very difficult for us to juggle a lot of things. But he's just really helpful with that. He is able to research hashtags and all stuff. Because to be honest, I'm horrible at that. If you look at our Rainbow Art Instagram, that's probably the way we would be running Giorgiko. But at least the visual aesthetic for Giorgiko, we still are in control of all of that. So we determine, or we create all the photos, we create all the plan for what photos are going to be next and how it's going to look on the canvas of our Instagram and social media. But he's like figuring out how to like promote and push our work. I think he's been really instrumental in that. Yeah.
Cool. How long has he been helping out?
He's been helping us pretty much since the Cosmic Connection show last year that we did with you guys.
I feel like you had still, even before that,
There was a
It
momentum.
seemed like you've had momentum, like
There was
starting before that too.
a little bit, yeah. But it was slow. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we've had our social media because actually we transitioned my old Instagram into Giorgiko.
Right.
Oh,
So we
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
maintained a lot of those followers.
Right.
But I mean, I was consistently posting back then too. I was trying to.
It just
And-
seems like you can post, but it just seems like there was maybe it's just the work. I
Oh,
mean, it just seemed like
do you know
you
what?
got a lot of traction.
Actually,
Yeah.
the thing that's helped us a ton was there's been certain people that have reposted our work
Sure.
that really brought exposure.
Here we go.
Man, that was like
Who?
huge. Can I say? Should I say?
It's
Yeah,
up to
I mean,
you.
well, I mean, like for example, one person at the Cosmic Connection show, he bought 2 of our pieces was Sasha. I don't know if you know
yeah,
Sasha.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he's been
Sure,
like
very
super
helpful.
helpful.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, with juxtapose and all these different
Yeah.
things. And then just like really random posts. We were just talking. I don't know if I want to say, but there's a big artist thing, or I think they're in London gallery. They posted our work, but it doesn't. It feels like it doesn't fit their canvas, so it just stood out. So like little things like that, I think have really helped.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's I feel like we didn't have any control over that. That was just
No,
like,
it just
wow.
happens, but it's the work too.
Yeah.
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 That's great. Yeah, because I noticed I was like, oh wow, look at this is kind of happening with. I wasn't sure what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys pushed a magic button.
No,
I know.
we
It's
don't.
work.
We're
I
not
know.
paying ads or anything like that. I kind of feel like weird about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, why would anyone want to, like, have paid likes? I mean, that would just
Yeah.
feel like terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're looking at your own work, like, oh, I got all these likes, but
It's
it
not
cost
real.
me hundreds of fucking dollars a week.
I'd like to try that once though to see
what it does.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, just to
I heard that they've cracked down on it though.
Oh,
like
okay.
that that they'll like blacklist you or something.
Because what
like
if you
that.
were doing? Oh, I'm saying is, what if you bought one of your Instagram posts, just a random one of the paintings?
Oh.
What I mean, you already get a lot of likes, so what would be the difference?
So we
like,
did.
like 10 times more or something.
So
or?
we were a little bit more shameless of Monterey for our art school. So I actually
You
tried
should.
a few
That's cool.
paid ads for that because it was and they're local, and I kind of feel like all the likes we got were fake because all of a sudden it's like, oh, all these likes and then no followers, no nothing, no interaction on the page. It just
Gotcha.
kind of was.
No, because I do that for
Yeah.
like art shows, like
Yeah.
you know, on Facebook I'll buy ads, or
Yeah.
maybe on Instagram I'll still buy ads. I'll just do it just to advertise the art show, but
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm covering my ass by doing that because I'm not sure if it really helps or not. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of budget that in, so it's all good.
Well, I mean, that's also, you also have a business, and,
Yeah.
you know, you
But
have
I'm,
a gallery.
but I
you
don't know
need
if
to
it
promote
really.
the show.
I don't know if that helps more than just posting more. You know, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
wonder.
I feel like you're right about a lot of. You'll get more likes, but I don't know. It seems very hollow. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I
But
mean,
a lot of likes still feels nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. The algorithm always is kind of, it's just weird.
Yeah.
You know,
It
like-
is. Yeah.
I mean, I can understand why some posts get more likes than others, but like I don't like really kind of understand like, you know, like what's going on, and you know, social
Yeah.
medias. What can you do? I don't know. I mean, you remember like, I mean, I know it still happens. Like, there's like those like strings of like people complaining about the algorithm and like, you know,
Sure.
reposting that same fucking image, you know, of like, you know, blah 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 algorithm, blah blah blah. You know, it's like, dude, like fucking everyone's going through it, so like,
Yeah.
suck up, you know. But I mean, obviously it does suck because you would like to think if you have like X amount of followers, you want X amount of fucking likes, you know. But
Yeah.
And then Y amounts of dollars. Hopefully they're buying stuff, right? You know, a
Right.
little bit, right? So yeah, you hope it
Yeah.
translates a little bit, but
'Cause I saw somebody had posted that thing where it's like, say yes or something, or text or comment yes or something, because if you don't, then I'm not going to show up on your news feed.
really, wow,
I had seen something like that,
Oh.
and then because we were watching, because I was like, I talked to Tom, I was like, what is this? Is this a real thing? So we were kind of just watching it unfold, and I don't know what happened, but his next few posts like really did well.
oh wow,
Significantly well compared to what he was doing before. And I was like, I don't know if that worked or if it was just the algorithm of everybody commenting on it.
maybe
and it was
that.
picking up on the
Yeah.
comments like, okay, a bunch of people are interacting with this thing.
I think it's just liking things. Like, you know, like when my friend Thomas Hahn kind of reemerged, he's an artist, you know, he and I kind of came up together with Joe Ledbetter and stuff, and he kind of disappeared for a bit and then kind of came back up. I started liking a lot of his posts to be supportive. And it's now like whenever I open Instagram, whenever he has something new up, right there on the very top.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know whether commenting really like takes the post to a new level of being on top of everything else. But I rarely comment on like people's stuff unless
I feel like on Facebook it does that. If you post something, you post something with a picture, and there's no link in it, because Facebook, in my opinion, they don't want people to leave Facebook. So if you put a link in it, that means
They're gonna leave.
They're gonna leave, right? So if you don't put a link in it, the more people will see it, and then the more interaction it gets, it seems like it actually will show up on more people's feeds. Maybe because like it's your interactions are between you and your friends, and then if someone interacts with it, it goes to their friends. I feel like it makes a difference. So if there's like a lot of hype on your post in the first hour, more people will see it. Whereas like if nobody gives a shit because maybe you posted at 4 a.m, less people will just see it in general. But that's what I kind of think. And I could be wrong. I don't know. Well, that's how I see it though.
Do you have your like social media is like set to like a professional like?
Yeah,
like so you can see all those stats. So like,
oh man, I used to look at that and it just drives you crazy. Yeah. I know it's bad. So how do you guys balance the work, school? I mean, your art school and your painting stuff, because I think you're going to get busier with paintings, but then your school sounds like it's also unrelenting. You're going to keep getting busy with school, and maybe busier with school. Now that Luke is going to want to take one of your classes.
He's going to be a teacher at our school.
You do not want me teaching. You do not want me teaching.
But I mean, it seems like everything should be going into one direction. I don't think you're going to have less students with a more popular art career, and then you're basically creating problems for yourself by being good at what you're doing. So
I think with the school, I mean, our ultimate goal is we're creating the structure for it, and we're creating kind of like the curriculum, the vision, all those different things. But we hope not to be the only teachers in the future. But if we do hire on teachers, we want them to be just as passionate and committed as we are. So that's hard to find, because I think for a lot of artists, if you're going to teach at a school and you're good at it, might as well just start your own school.
I don't know if people can do that though.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Well, people try, but at least for schedule wise, do you want to share like how we do it on a daily basis?
So ever since I went back to work this year, so we have like a half-day schedule. So Darren will be painting in the mornings in the studio, and I'll be at home taking care of the boys. And then he comes home for lunch. We have lunch together, and then I go to work, and he stays home with the boys.
Teaching.
Yeah.
And so you're not, Darren, are you teaching?
Right now I'm not.
currently.
Just my senior citizen class.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Last year was completely crazy.
Last year was crazy, and last year we were working a lot too, or starting to build a lot of work out. So, because Trisha was still home with the boys, because they were really young. So, we weren't getting sleep, and then I would go into work at 9 a.m. to paint, and then I would stay there, do admin stuff for the school, teach in the afternoons, and then paint after. So I was doing 10 to 12-hour days for a year. That was not healthy. It was like really bad.
Oh yeah, because it started while I was pregnant.
Yeah, she was on bed rest
I was
pretty
on
early
bed
on.
rest
It was
for a
twins,
few months.
Yeah.
Wait, so the classes are usually like held during the afternoons?
Yeah,
from,
it's after
like,
school.
After school.
3 to 7 on the during the weekdays, and then on the weekends 9 to 5.
And
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Wow. All day.
All
are
day.
the classes like an hour or 2 hours?
Hour 45 minutes, and then hour 45 minutes, and then we try to do maybe once or twice a quarter like a group lesson thing. So we'll do slideshow presentations where we have to prep all the slides. We'll teach on something like perspective, or something that's a little bit more where you have to focus and like do something like that. But that's actually easier because then you just do the same lesson for every student in every class. But when it's not like that, every student is actually kind of on their own track. So we have to know what we're trying to build towards for every student. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What kind of like general like lessons do you offer?
Well, we kind of almost have this scale at our school, and it's based on like the child's ability to understand. So they might not have the skill to do something, but if they can understand the idea of something like perspective, then we kind of put them into a certain tier in our classes. We try to balance creativity with fundamentals. So they'll do something very fundamental heavy, like learning how to paint, how to mix color, how to clean your brush, different things like that. And then we'll do something completely wacky and crazy. Like one example, actually one of the students that came to the show, the boy, we did a thing where it was like redesigning your favorite movie cover or your favorite like book cover. Like you had to do it. So he did Captain Underpants, which was like his favorite like artist, Dave Pilkey, and so we put that on Instagram, and then Dave Pilkey commented on it, and then we showed it to the kid, and oh my gosh, it was awesome. He was like trying so hard not to cry in class. He was like shaking.
So
he was like,
excited.
oh my gosh, my hero just commented on my picture. So yeah, we're trying to like balance that creativity and fundamentals.
Or even within one picture, like if it's very, like lesson heavy, like for example, learning how to paint, maybe the kid will choose the picture that they want to do.
Yeah.
Like last week I was teaching this girl how to do monochromatic acrylic painting, and she wanted to do Pokemon. So we did a monochromatic painting of a Pokemon. So it's a good mixture.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we're trying to, right now, like we have iPads in the classroom, and that's what the kids are using as references.
Wow.
So,
Okay. For paintings.
So they can look up. So we're kind of teaching them, like, because we're like, there's a lot of pictures online, but we're also trying to give them an eye. So it's like, there's a lot of pictures online, but you got to filter like what's going to be a good reference, what's not going to be a good reference. Why is this piece, for our older kids, we're trying to talk about like, why is this considered a better piece of art than this one, even though they might look exactly the same, like by standards. So I know it's all relative, but like more so like by the standards of composition or values and colors.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no class critiques then, right? Like the college would have.
We try to do it every once in a while.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we actually want to move to do that. We used to do it on a weekly basis. So at the end of class, but it's funny, dude. Some kids love it, and you get some kids are like, "This is the worst," Because we're trying to get them like, "Hey, can you?" It's very like lighthearted, but it's like, tell us about your piece. What's your favorite part? Is there anything that you wish you could do better? Or improve? How would you have done it differently? So it's pretty simple like that. But we're not like ripping it apart, like burning it there.
Hope not. Wow.
Yeah.
So is the goal to not teach anymore and just work on your art, or do you always want to be teaching even a little bit?
I think we always want to be teaching. We have a
bit,
little,
at least.
even if we're not teaching all classes, because we have a little saying at Rainbow Art. So we try to flip that saying that we said earlier of those who teach because they can't do. We flipped it to be those who teach should do, and those who do should teach. So that's kind of like a little saying we have at Rainbow Art. So we're trying to, we'll always probably be involved some way in the teaching, even if we're not doing, very many classes.
Cool.
Well, I think that I know so many artists who teach now, and obviously when you're teaching in a public, school kind of environment, that's very different because of just how time consuming that really is. You're like teaching a frickin' like 8 to frickin' 3 in the afternoon kind of schedule, and carrying a huge burden of, behind that, whether it's, money or, just students who just don't give a shit. But I think that, there's plenty of, very talented working, working artist teachers. So, it's, I mean, as a general stereotype, I understand, but it's obvious. It's easy to prove that's a false stereotype too.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just like making fun of it.
I could think of plenty of stereotypes that I love to make fun of.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I like the teacher one though. That one's good.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of all those art center teachers. I'm like,
Kent, what are they saying about you, Kent? Clayton Brothers, what are they saying about you, Clayton Brothers?
Twisting everything here.
Mark Todd.
oh, it's so funny. Yeah.
So you have twins. We talked a little bit about this on the weekend, but let's bring it up again.
Okay.
How has, I don't have children. Eric doesn't have children, I don't think.
Nope.
but how has, having children affected, your artwork? Or has it?
Well, I think it's funny that we're more busy now with our art than we were before, and it's when we had our kids. It's kind of weird because in some ways I feel like maybe we didn't experience too much of doing an art career prior to having our kids, so it's a little hard to compare to a certain degree, right? Because actually when I did the Cosmic Connection show last year, that was my first show where we did our collaborative work, and it was in a body of work. So that was kind of like the first time we had built something. But Trisha was already pregnant with the boys at that point in time. You're pretty far along.
Was I in the hospital?
You were actually, she was in the hospital while
That's
I
right.
came to the show. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. But I think I don't know. What do you think, Trisha?
I feel like it's having kids has affected like Darren's saying, like our time and like scheduling and stuff like that. But I think in terms of how we approach art or the themes that we like to explore, I feel like it's been pretty consistent. Right?
Yeah. It's funny because our kids look like our paintings. That's what we're talking. I'll tell him like that. But it's just so funny that that's the way it is, and people say that all the time because they're pretty chubby right now, or at least their cheeks are. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think like I often like kind of wonder, like, you know, I mean, like, say myself, my work is pretty, you know, heavy on the darker narratives and stuff like that. Like, you know, like would something like, you know, children like completely make me like want to like, you know, shy away from, you know, those kind of things. But like, you know, I see when I look at your work, I see like there's a sinister element kind of like creeping through. It's not like overbearing or by any means, but it's there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the painting, right, you know, there's
the
you
Route
know,
66 one.
yeah, you know,
0.66, I guess.
you know, there's this kind of like, you know, the cruelty of children kind of, you know, element, you know, going on in there, which is a narrative that I love.
Yeah.
And then also like the dog / wolf kind of characters seem to have like this kind of devilish kind of, you know, design, you know, in them as well, which, you know, I was also wanted to, you know, ask you guys about like what is the dog / in my eyes wolf.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's because it's got a lot of spikes, or it's got a lot, you know, it's very spiky.
It's very spiky,
Yeah.
you know, and they're dark. They're either black, you know, some of them, like in some of the drawings, are white. You know, like, you know, do they have a kind of subversive kind of role in the paintings, you know, and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we see them kind of representing human nature, which is kind of unpredictable. So in a lot of these pictures, they're not like straightforwardly evil or doing anything specifically malicious, but like you said, it's kind of sinister. There's like a looming kind of element to them. And so, yeah, I think we are kind of exploring that kind of unknown quality in a person where you don't know, you know, even if you're really nice, even if you feed them well, you pet the dog, but it could still bite you.
Yeah. That's kind of what we want to get at. Yeah, that it can bite you. But like actually there was this Post-it series. I think it was our second round of Post-its that we had done.
It was pretty early on.
And that one was actually, it's funny because it was really bright colors, but that was probably the darkest that we had gone.
Yeah.
Because all the dogs were actually attacking the kids in those Post-its. And it was like pretty terrifying. Like there's a kid like this and there's like a dog like this. It's not clamping down, but it's like, you know,
About
right there.
to.
About to, you know.
Yeah.
So we kind of, that's definitely where. But we also kind of feel like sometimes they could be helpful. Sometimes they can be, you know, they're not always bad, but there is that dangerous aspect to them. Yeah.
And I think because our work isn't like particularly grotesque or, you know, explicit or anything, but we do like to explore those kind of themes.
Yeah.
So I feel like for us, like I was saying, I think it's still kind of consistent that we're cool with exploring these ideas. And
with
I
our
don't think it's
boys.
really affected with
I don't think
having
so.
children.
Yeah.
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 Are there any elements of religion in your work? I mean, only reason I ask that is sometimes you post things and then they say like things like "thank God" and you know, stuff like that. So I'm wondering if that religiosity gets into your work.
I would not say that our work is
like explicitly
pointing and yeah, trying to be explicitly religious. I think we're like when I explain like what we're inspired by, I think we're inspired by story, we're inspired by history, we're inspired by like interesting human struggle and different things like that, you know. But I do think that, you know, because Trish and I are, you know, religious, I guess you could say, or I don't know, like we are people of faith. I think that, yeah, naturally it's going to be expressed in some way, shape, or form. Just naturally, yeah. But we're not trying to, you know, preach or anything like that through our pieces. Yeah.
And I think since it is part of like the human nature that we are trying to explore, that does get explored sometimes too.
Yeah.
Church Camp Cypher.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. That's like the last one, Church
That's,
Camp Cypher. That's the one.
That's like Darren's self-portrait.
Yeah, it's really funny because that's, I mean, like when I went to church camp, you know, growing up, like that's where I met like a lot of people I danced, and it was like that was a big inspiration for why I wanted to go, you know. Yeah.
Awesome.
Giorgiko, tell me about the name. Where did you get the name from?
So we always thought that that'd be cute if we had a company name that was like a combination of our names. So we're like, oh, Darisha, Trisharon. Like, I'm not sure about that. But Darren's middle name is George, and my Korean name is Hongi. So we're like, oh, Georgie would be so cute. Georgie Company. So, you know, that's kind of like how it came about. But actually, the more we researched into the meaning of George and then later Ko, we found out that George or Georgie, in I think Italian it was,
Greek.
It means like earth worker, like farmer, and Ko. So Ko, it was supposed to be company, but then we saw, in Japanese, Ko, it means like child.
Child, yeah.
And like, earth working child, slave labor.
Toiling
Just
child.
kidding. Yeah, and you know, you can definitely see like that childlike element in all of our pieces.
But it's addressing more serious things, you know, earth working and
you know, like
toiling,
struggling and
yeah.
but yeah.
Awesome. And then your other name was just your shortening of your name. You were using
Darren N.
Yeah. Darren, you know, for a long time I was like, why is it that? Then I realized, that's your last name.
But it's funny because
Darren
like,
Inoue, but for a while I was like, Darren N. Why?
It
was like so dense, so I couldn't figure it out.
It was one of those things where, you know, graduation at Art Center, you have to make a website and all that stuff. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna call it, so I'll just do this. And then it's so hard to change it after, and because it's funny because people call me Darren N. And I'm like, that's not my name, but. Yeah, sure.
Because I've heard people refer to you as that.
Yeah.
Just you. And they say that. And I'm always like, they stuck to was it an Instagram maybe or something?
Yeah,
or
probably Darren. Yeah, it was on Instagram before.
I think people just think that's your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
And no one can pronounce Inoue.
Yeah, it's very hard for people to pronounce that.
That was also a random thing that you're related to the late Senator Inoue.
Yeah, distantly, but yes. Yeah.
That's crazy. That was really a kind of interesting. He was war hero, senator from Hawaii, Daniel Inoue. Yeah. Who was the longest running senator maybe or something until he passed away. A war hero though, lost his arm in World War II and was some dude throwing grenades and shit or something like that. I don't know. And then he kept fighting with a arm that blew off, and he's like, it's like legend.
Yeah.
But they're distantly related, which means you're also related to his son. He has a son. You must be related to him, who was in punk rock bands. I forgot.
Oh,
I didn't
You're
know
related
that.
to him too then. Forgot his name. Was in a bunch of punk rock bands on Discord Records. Forgot his name. Sorry.
Something Inoue?
Yeah. But he's kind of like well known. I think he played in a band called Void. I mean, he's like it's all Washington D.C. stuff. And I think now he's a lobbyist.
Oh, he's a lobbyist.
He's become a lobbyist. But I mean, he was a punk rock guy teaching weird, like doing punk rock seminars and stuff. Like he was very seriously into like being a punk rock guy now. Yeah. Now he's a lobbyist. There you go. So you're related to him too.
Yeah.
If you're related.
Well, you know, like punk rockers are moving on to politics. Where are we at?
We still got a little bit of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot away.
I'm trying to think like where am I going to go?
But the one thing I was kind of curious about too is like what's the future going to be for you guys? Like is the goal to just be full-time artists And with the school, I mean, eventually it's going to have, maybe in 5 years, 3 years, or 2 years,
Yeah.
maybe you're going to get pushed one direction or another.
Yeah.
Is the idea just to like make a lot of paintings? Is this, or do you want to,
Yeah.
is there children's books in the works? Are
So-
there,
I think the paintings right now are the medium that we're working in currently, but I'm not sure how much I want to disclose, but we do have
I'll disclose here. This is
ambition
a,
to, yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of, it's not unsure. That's why I'm just not sure. I don't want to say something that I'm not really sure about, but we do have a lot of ideas of where we want to take things, and it probably will branch out into other mediums outside of painting.
like animation?
Possibly animation. I think we like the idea of taking these characters and bringing them a little bit closer to home, because I think painting on a wall is one thing, but bringing it to a place where the character is something that somebody can love and play with.
Oh, toys.
Toys, but not quite. We don't want to do like a hard toy. We're thinking along the lines of some sort of stuffed animal.
I think like Wonder could be translated really beautifully as a vinyl figure.
Yeah, soft
Yeah.
vinyl or something.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I don't even know about soft vinyl, but just like
Vinyl.
from
Yeah.
polystone to resin to vinyl, something like that. Like, just as a sculpture,
Yeah.
that like be collectible.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a lot of ideas. We have some tentative plans to explore some things. But at this point, we still feel very small as to like what's happening. So we want to we just want to see how many people love the work and try to get as much work out there to just see how it's received. It's funny, we get a lot of people say that our work is like, oh, Adventure Time. That's like the first thing that we always get when people describe our work with the faces, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of fun to hear how people see our pictures. It helps us get out of our head a little bit.
Adventure Time. Does it look like Adventure Time?
I can see the
expression?
association a little bit, just
Yeah.
because of the simple. It's a very distilled kind of facial design.
Yeah.
But the like all the things, like the details, like the hair to the outfits and the environments, kind of take it to a much higher level. At least in my eyes.
No, these are paintings, man.
I'm looking at the drawings,
Yeah.
too, and I could see how animation could be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could even do say even stop motion-y kind of stuff, because the features are so simple, and just little changes can affect emotion, like having the eyes go down or the other way, and tweaking the mouth.
That's something we wanted to. That is. It would be really cool to do a stop motion, but with actual
Davy and Goliath.
photography.
It's like, right? You ever see their faces on that? Do you ever stop motion Davy and Goliath? You ever see that?
No.
You never saw that?
I don't remember it.
Oh, it has really simple expressions that just change ever so slightly. And we're like, yeah, but it's a stop motion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of characters in a way similar to
I was
heads, but-
thinking of
Yeah.
even Robot Chicken, they make it so obvious how they
Yeah.
do it, because they're pasting little things on the action figures and
Yeah.
shit, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's how they
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Or Moral Oral. I don't know you
I
guys
don't
remember
know
that
that
one. That was from Adult Swim.
Oh.
It's similar kind of it had that 70s kind of
Right.
stop motion animation, like
Wow.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of thing, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a brutal freaking animation. It's brutal. It was done in the style of these 70s and early 80s kind of stop motion things, but the story going through is just like oh my god, you just don't associate these kind of harsh fucking reality stories with that kind of really cute animation. There's so many different things that it could be done with these kind of character designs, and in combined with the general kind of narratives that you guys are playing around with. But I was curious, what else, I think you mentioned that you guys have a bunch of stuff coming up the rest of the year.
Yeah, we have a few shows. We have a show in Amsterdam next
Congratulations. That's
with
nice.
Sasha.
Are you guys going out?
We're deciding, but I don't really know if we'll be able to. They said they're willing to help us get there, but yeah.
What's that mean? Just a little bit of tour support?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's
so
cool.
That'll be at the Garage in Amsterdam, and then we have a small solo show at Think Space in their project room
Awesome.
in February.
Cool. That one's coming up.
Yeah. So that I think I was kind of like I think next time I'll try to schedule them a little farther apart.
That's a lot of fucking work there, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, and then small group shows and stuff too.
How many paintings are you doing for the Amsterdam show?
It's looking like it's gonna be around 12.
Cool.
So
That's still fucking shit.
yeah,
ton of work.
it is. Yeah,
It's all probably going to be smaller pieces, I'm guessing.
a little bit smaller. Yeah,
Because you got to ship them.
Yeah, shipping them. They actually do want. I'm surprised. They actually want one 4x4 and one that's close to a 4x4.
Pay for the fucking shipping.
I think that they're paying for it. I don't know. It'd be really. I don't even know how much it would cost because we shipped a few pieces to Italy last year, and that was expensive.
Was that
Sure.
to was it?
It was called Tales of Art Gallery. That was with Sasha too. Sasha
okay.
helped that one.
Oh, I don't know that gallery, but
So one thing we didn't talk to you about too is what other art are you looking at? Like who do you like out there? Whether it's contemporaries like your own age versus, people who aren't alive anymore.
Yeah.
Or do you or do you guys get out and check stuff out?
We want to get out more. It's really hard.
I can't even imagine you would have time to.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's just so different when you see it in person. So I love getting out. But, luckily, we do have social media, which at least we can see stuff going on, a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. We're inspired by a lot of things. I think that, we can appreciate... I don't think there's any style of art that I'm, that offends me too much. I think I just kind of appreciate... I could see the value in what they're trying to do. So, I don't know. I love Andrew Hem. He's amazing to me. Just his color palette, stuff like that. Yeah.
I've always loved children's book stuff. You know, all
Cool.
all the old stuff.
Old school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
How-
vintage stuff.
How old?
I don't know. I love thrifting for older stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of books in our bookshelf that I don't know how dirty they are, or how old they are, where they came from.
The
but
illustrations are beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just such a precious quality. I just love it.
Yeah, even if it's just graphite work, it's just beautiful how they did it back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see any current books you like? Because I'm noticing there's a lot of artists, for example, in the Postage Show, there's a bunch who I find out later. I'm like, oh, they do children's books. But it seems like some of them are, I haven't even seen their works, but judging from the Post-it work, I'm thinking, oh, they're probably making really good, they're kind of like another generation of children's book makers. But
Yeah.
not sure if you follow that stuff or not.
Well, since we have kids,
Yeah.
I think we'll start to encounter more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
was
I
trying
feel
to
like
see.
children's books though. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's because now everything's like they're animating children's books on the iPad. So it's I feel like the hardback, paperback books. I'm not sure, if that's gonna. Hopefully it continues because I
Yeah.
love that. But yeah,
How do you feel about all this new digital work that's coming out?
digital artwork or.
Yeah.
I like traditional work, I think I'm always going to be partial to that.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing still what they produce visually. It's beautiful, but I just feel like I love how tactile a traditional medium is and the process that you have to go through and the fact that you can't press undo. And, to experiment, you can't I guess you could take it into Photoshop, but that's not something that we do. But not that we're opposed to it, but it's just not something that's part of our process. I think it's, I don't know. I feel like I'll always be partial to traditional mediums.
I feel like digital art can be so amazing and so beautiful, but I always think it's kind of funny when people try to make their digital work look traditional.
Yeah.
It's then what was the point of making it digital? So
I just a couple days ago I fell down the artists on YouTube hole Like I generally kind of.
I don't even think I've explored that.
Oh,
realm.
it's a weird realm. It is really weird.
Is it like the people that
Time lapse stuff?
Yeah, is it time lapse?
No, it's just I haven't gotten that deep, but like I found a video of like some digital kind of illustrator talking about like Cintiq versus iPad, and I just went right down that and. Or like how to make money, how they make money on doing digital art, and I was just like, okay, well that's interesting. And they're talking about like websites that I've never heard of, or like doing Fiverr kind of jobs, and
Fiverr jobs,
and shit like that. I thought about doing putting up a Fiverr thing, where I would just like draw dicks on fucking photographs, for like $5 a dick.
Have you ever used Fiverr?
No, I mean I've heard of it.
I've used it actually just to.
Did you have a good experience?
No, bad. Every time it's been bad, so I stopped using it. Well, so I was doing it first for transcriptions. Actually, I was getting some. Like if we do an interview, I can get the transcription done, and sometimes that's good. But when I started everything else I've done, like one guy was a sign spinner, and I was like, oh, cool. I'll make him spin a sign that says giant robot. And the one he was doing was he had one that looked like in the dirty streets of the Philippines, right? Like the streets, it was like jeepneys, and it was just like hectic. Really hectic looking scene. And I was like, that's amazing. Or maybe was it even India? Maybe it was India. I don't even know. I can't remember. So I was thinking, for like, I don't know what it was. Was it $5? And then they try to like upsell you. Okay, if I do a custom sign, it's $5 more. I think I might have given him $15 or something. And then he did the sign spinning, and it was like in a parking lot. And I was kind of like, dude, where's the background? Like that same background that you advertised. And it's like, and yeah, this person didn't know that's part of the sell. Like he just thought I wanted the sign spinner, and it was just like the background was just, it could have been anywhere. Yeah. It wasn't this really rad hectic street, so bummer. Okay, another one, I hired a guy to make a logo that was super simple, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have you do it. And then so this person does it. I was just testing for $5. So this person does one, and then I asked for a change. I was like, no, this is unacceptable. Here's what I want. And it was the simplest change ever, and they couldn't do it because they were using something else. Like it wasn't skill that they were using. They were using some kind of automatic thing, like as soon as they had to improvise just one little thing, it just went super awry. And I was like, oh, you guys have no skill whatsoever. You're using a template or something and just filling it in. But they weren't really creative in any way because, once they did, it was just, I was like, no, you are skillless. Like, forget you. And I just dumped it. So anyways, Fiverr sucks.
Well, no, I saw this one video of like this one digital artist kind of like giving instructions, to like all these different, digital artists on Fiverr, and like the results were kind of like intense. I was like, whoa, like
for $5? For
no, like $250, $280 jobs, and
So I always thought Fiverr was just $5.
But it could be 5 times a multiplier. Oh, like you'd say, if you want me to work this much, it's 5 times 25, or whatever.
And then, they had like like one of the things was like, I'm trying to do a book cover, and here's what I want, like and he was just showing the results in accordance to like how much he spent. So the more he spent,
wow.
And I was like, whoa, like I would not ever fucking consider doing, a job like that for that amount of money,
You think it's too low?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure which direction you're going.
Like $280 for a book cover, go fuck yourself.
But maybe the guy, maybe that's the only job they can get though,
Right, and
they lack the hustle or the reach or the whatever.
Well, then there was like I was watching a video.
Was it good? Was the work even good?
Yeah, I was impressed.
Oh, okay.
I was impressed. I mean, it's not going to like, go on fucking wall of mine or anything like that. But but I was like,
gotcha.
Like wow, I couldn't do that digitally.
Yeah.
But then then I was watching this video earlier before I came out here, and like this girl was like selling images like just sketchbook drawing stuff like on another site that I'd never even heard of, and I was like, wow, that's kind of like, these are sites that I've never heard of. It's not DeviantArt, which is the only site that I knew of back when I was, fresh to the internet.
Yeah.
But there's like all these different weird resources out there that people are, using, and apparently like it's a weird way of being able to make money.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm lucky that I didn't like, maybe all of us are lucky because we don't have to fucking jump through those hoops, but like, it's there's like an entire fucking world of, weird. We need to get a digital artist on this fucking the show sometime.
That's really interesting.
Like, like I'll pick their brain because it's, apparently, I was talking to a friend of mine and he was saying like, like all this kind of gallery showing stuff is just like, it's great and everything, but at the same time, it's like not completely necessary anymore. I care to disagree, it's simply because of the fact that like, when you show artwork in galleries, you start at one point, like you start in a certain price range, but like, how can, like pushing your prices higher and higher and higher is so much harder when you're just doing it on your own, because it's hard to kind of gauge like where you're at. But then, when you have a gallery kind of backing you up and kind of going, no, these pieces are worth more, blah, 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 you can be able to, like, that's how I got to where, from like, I used to do like 16 by 20s for like $300, and now the price they're, much more than that, and so I couldn't have done that on my own. Meanwhile, I think if I just did everything online, they would still be fucking $300 paintings, That's because of my own insecurity. Like, I don't have an art school fucking background, I don't feel like, oh, I know my shit, blah, 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 Anyways, I'm just kind of going off on weird tangents. I'm sorry.
Oh, a question came through. A question came through online, and the question is: would you consider working 3D, wood, metal, etc.? And that question is from maybe someone David Yamashita.
Oh,
he's the one that wanted you
Dave.
to do. Oh.
He's the son of one of our senior citizen students.
Oh, cool.
But Dave's awesome. But I think it's funny because I like to build stuff, like probably more than painting. I like building things. So we're not opposed to the idea. I think it's just more of like time and looking at what we have already in front of us, just trying to do those things and do them well. But when there is a time to explore, I think, we want to see how far we could push a lot of different things.
Cool. Yeah. So another question, which isn't specifically for you guys, but Jacob Scott asks, I'm coming down to LA for the Gallery Nucleus show on Spider-Verse. What art places should I check out besides there and GR?
Think Space, Corey Helford Gallery, KP Projects. Obviously, you should go to like LACMA or MoCA. You should go to the fucking
LACMA, come on.
There's some great stuff at LACMA.
That's what I'm saying. You named all these other places first.
Well, I mean, like,
LACMA.
but like in the vein of a Nucleus Gallery and a Giant Robot Gallery, those are the galleries that that first come to mind.
Okay.
Like, but if you want to see like,
just bail on Nucleus. Just come to GR. What are you doing, dude? Come on, Jacob.
And then you should go to the Broad, because the Broad fucking, if you have never seen the permanent
Go to
collection,
the
the
Broad.
Broad, it's great, and it's free if you're willing to stand in line for an hour.
Yeah.
Well, if you're like willing to spend like $20 and forego the line, you could see the special exhibition and
go to Rainbow Art, drop in on a class. I'm not sure if you can do that.
Actually, do like I've seen classes in SGV, where they like they'll have like an opening reception, show of like their students' work, and I've dropped in on those when I'm like at some restaurant nearby, and do you guys do that too?
We do an annual student gallery show, and we do it during the Chinese New Year festival.
Because our
business is right on that street when they close it down, so it's just like really great spot because we get a lot of people coming in, look at the kids' artwork and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Jacob Scott, same guy. Question right afterwards. Where should I eat? So he's going to be in San Gabriel Valley.
Where is he from?
He's going to be in West LA, or maybe if he comes here. He doesn't say where he's from, but Let's guess. Jacob Scott. Where would a guy named Jacob Scott be from?
Seattle.
No.
Portland.
New Mexico. Arizona. Yeah, I picked
Houston.
I picked border of Arizona and Mexico.
Maybe
No, I'm just kidding.
Oklahoma? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Anyways, so now we know he's from all these places.
Where to eat?
Yeah, where should he eat?
Are we foodies? Do we know?
Foodies doesn't matter. Just
we
places
go to
to
Taco Bell.
eat. That's true. You
Yeah,
went to
Taco Bell's really good.
Yeah, go to Din Tai Fung, and if you've never had
What about the
Mama's Lou?
Yeah.
Or Mama's Lou. Or
Mama
I mean, it's
Lou's?
good.
Mama
Mama's-
Lou's.
it's
Mama.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good. It's really
Yeah.
good. And I think it's pretty reasonably priced.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
Yeah.
But if you want to get fancy, go to Din Tai Fung.
Yeah.
Wait, 45 minutes. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the hat? Isn't there a
Ooh.
hat?
I'm not a fan.
Really?
Sorry.
I think it's because I grew up on it. Because my dad grew up in East LA, so.
Dude, the
He
hat
loves
is the
the hat.
bomb.
You can have mine.
You got don't get the pastrami. The world famous pastrami is not that.
What do you
that
get?
Great.
I get the pastrami hamburger.
I get the chili burger.
Oh, I never got that. And their fries. Chili fries.
I wish I could get the fries, but I'm usually by myself, so it's just
Too much.
It's just too much.
It is, yeah.
Too much fries. If you like chili fries, go to the Hat.
Yeah.
That's on Atlantic, right?
There's a few.
There's a few of them. There's Atlantic. There's
They're like all on Valley though, which is kind
Garfield on Valley.
Well,
That's mine.
wait, chili fries with pickles and tomato. Don't they have that?
Is it tomato? Yeah, and they put
Pickles-
pastrami on it too.
Oh my! I didn't get the
Yeah.
pastrami, but I got the pickle and tomato one. And I loved it. That was so good.
Yeah.
But you mentioned before there's some food like taco trucks. You should go to Leo's Tacos on fucking Pico and it's Pico
Leo's
Olympic
Tacos.
and La Brea, I think.
Wow, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's. Yeah.
What about Pepe's? Do you ever go there?
Oh, Pepe's the bomb.
Isn't Pepe's? Is that in Monterey
What is
Park?
Pepe's?
Or-
No, Pepe's in Alhambra.
Alhambra.
Yeah, it's on Valley and
It's a dri-
between Garfield and Atlantic.
And you could drive through it, right?
Yeah, it's a drive-through.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
I
Yeah.
think I might have been there once.
Oh, it's so good. It looks like an old hamburger stand, and it's they do like a kind of an Americanized Mexican food thing there.
But it's been there from like a long time.
Wait, where is it? Where is it?
He would know. I'm not.
It
I've been
is
there, though.
so Garfield and Atlantic, somewhere between there on Valley. If you're coming up from Atlantic toward Garfield, it's on your left-hand side.
It's on the north side of the
I'm
street.
sure we've
for
seen
sure.
it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a drive-through, and that one's kind of OG.
And it's got some like
It's really
tables
cool.
in the front, outdoor tables, and they do like carne asada fries and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You're surprised I knew that. Oh, what about that
I
spicy?
know. I was surprised that you
what
knew
about
that one.
What about that spicy place? What's it called? The Chinese spicy place? You ever been there?
It's like
Chengdu
Szechuan.
Yeah, that thing.
Or Chengdu Place.
Yeah, that thing.
Tasty, Chengdu Tasty
Yeah,
or
that
something
thing.
like that.
That thing is crazy.
Well, there's another one
Don't-
called
that-
like
did you ever go there?
Sichuan Impressions.
It's
which
so-
I've been to one of the Szechuan places in Monterey Park and I actually really liked it.
Oh,
because
it's
I don't
so
like
spicy.
spicy food.
Oh,
but
that-
I could do that. It's really weird.
I was drenched in.
Yeah,
I
you
was,
sweat.
I was
It's a
like, looked
sweaty
like I
kind.
went swimming or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, try that out, Jacob Scott.
Well, there's a ton of places. Like go down to Sawtell. There's a bazillion places to
when
eat
he when he
here.
comes here, he says he's gonna be by here. So
Wait in line and fucking one of the ramen spots and have mediocre ass ramen.
yeah. Oh, so another question comes from Alice, and she asks, "What's the inspiration behind the Falling in Love painting?" Sorry if I butcher the name of the piece. That's this one.
It's that,
That
one.
one. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The arms out.
It's actually my favorite. That's my favorite piece. So that one, we were trying to capture kind of like the feeling of falling in love, but in our mind, in the picture, she's actually not falling. She's kind of getting like sucked up. And the feeling that we were trying to encapsulate was not necessarily like a romantic love, but like the love of a father and their child. So like a protecting type of love, like a love
very
that would
safe.
very safe, very secure, warm, but kind of like coming out of the darkness and then, getting, hugged type of thing, So yeah, that's kind of the general theme behind that piece.
Awesome. So wait, have you guys talked about each piece and what exactly it means, or do you guys kind of know this just from working on it? Because you seem to agree with what he was saying,
Yeah.
but you almost like shared words too, almost like filling each other's words. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we did talk about each. Well, we already knew the themes, but then before the show, we were like, it would be really not good if we had two different meanings for this. So let's talk about it. So we did kind of
I see.
like, yeah.
But as we're working on the pieces, usually we're agreeing on the meaning or the inspiration of the piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, because that was an interesting question.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, shoot. Got any other questions, Luke? Audience, whoever's listening, there are some people out there.
We have to give it a 10-second delay.
Any
if,
other
you know,
questions? That's true, huh?
let them ask.
Yeah. Well, either way, Alice says yes. Oh, yeah. I wonder why. What did yes mean?
We got it right. We got the answer right.
Oh,
to that
okay.
question.
Good. And then Mr. Yamashita says thank you. Darren and Trish and Giant Robot. Luke, I guess not you, but that's cool.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I guess one other one, I guess really quick has come through. Maybe it's not a question, but a comment. There are a lot of numbers in your paintings, which there are some numbers, right?
Yeah.
I saw.
Especially the older
Yeah,
pieces
yeah.
I used to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like letter forms. So it's like my older work had a lot of Russian in it. Because I like the
Yeah.
idea of like English looking letters, but they're backwards and there's weird like adaptations and like shapes. But same thing with numbers. I just kind of like the letter forms. So
It's funny because his painting of letters and numbers is like so pristine and so precise,
And
but
I
his
can't
handwriting
write.
is so bad.
my handwriting's horrible.
It's like horrible.
It's really bad, and it's because I feel like it's when I was in elementary school. That's like when I feel like formulate your handwriting, but every year I would change my handwriting
Oh, I did that too.
because I was like I want to explore all these handwritings. So now I'll use 2 different E's in the same word, and it makes it really bad.
Oh, I did. I switched my handwriting a lot too.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't even know what my handwriting would be.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what it would be.
It's so actually maybe like I don't know what yours looks like, but mine's just super shitty.
It's really
as a
bad.
result,
Me
you
too.
know.
It's really bad. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's scrawl, but yeah, if I put my mind to it, I can write architectural style.
If I
you
put
know,
my mind to it,
but,
it gets
yeah.
worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anytime Darren has to fill out a form, I'm just like, give it to me.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
fill it out for him.
I get nervous.
He just signs it.
I like have to concentrate so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm left-handed, so my handwriting has always been bad.
Well, it's so interesting that I guess because you're writing back, or you have to go this way, or you're not dragging your hand.
Yeah, I have to write this.
Smearing.
Whoa, that's weird.
So.
Yeah. Southpaw style.
Southpaw style.
Hook. The hook.
Well, I guess. I mean, like, I write.
Because you don't want to smear. You're like.
I write like this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's left-handed.
Yeah.
So you paint with your left hand too?
Mhm.
Have you ever tried with your right hand?
When I'm like doing cans, like aerosol, I can do both hands, but like that's usually just because I'm filling, a lot. But I don't even know whether or not like my family ever tried to change me into a right-handed person, but I'm left-handed, like from what I can remember all my life, and therefore I had terrible handwriting. But like my sketches are terrible too. Like whenever I see people who do like perfect sketches, I'm just like, you're fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like so
Cool.
But
Awesome.
anyways,
No, I think we've hit a good mark.
yeah,
We're at the 2-hour mark now.
you're right.
Oh, wow.
It just time flies all the time with podcasts.
Yeah.
But last things you want to say?
Tell us how we can
Yeah,
get a hold of you.
maybe that's it.
View your work on the social medias.
So our social media for Instagram is Giorgiko.la. So that's GIORGIKO.
Dot
LA.
LA.
Yeah. And then Rainbow Art, if you want to check out our school, it's Rainbow, so RAINBOWART, and then MPK. Yeah. So
You mean .mpk?
no, just MPK.
Oh, okay.
Rainbow Art
Trying to rep
Rainbow Art MPK.
Rainbow Art.
.com?
Nice.
.com or on
.com.
Instagram. It's just that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
But
just
thank
followed
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
Thanks
This
for
was
having us interview you. That was kind of fun.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that felt really fun. So awesome.
Thank you so
Alright.
much.
Yeah.
and to everyone who tuned in and sent a question, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Pow.
Cool.